my journey. I will walk without a fear, past the wolf at my front door. Stronger than ever, no, never alone. Stronger than ever, mine. Look how I've grown. Lifted in every endeavor. When I look back on all I've done, everything I've lost or won, it all fades into the glory of my never-ending story. Stronger than ever, no, never alone. Stronger than ever, mine. Look how I've grown. Lifted in every endeavor. Stronger than ever, no, never alone. Stronger than ever, mine. Look how I've grown. Lifted in every endeavor. Stronger than ever. 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 everyone. And I know that look in your eyes, 'cause I've seen it in the mirror 1,000 times. That's the face of a woman who doesn't understand how much she's loved. And then the TV tells me I should be like her.
Let's thank Brian Harris, New Thought Messengers, our incredible band. Good morning. Good morning. I'm practitioner Shelly Walker, and it is an absolute joy to be with you this morning. Our first Sunday of Black History Month, the first Sunday of February, which is all about living love here at the center. I'm excited to share some things with you about that today. If you are new or newish here, if you're just tuning in for the first time, I want to let you know that we are an inclusive, progressive, and compassionate spiritual community. We welcome you, whoever you are, wherever you are so welcome here. And we have mindfully and thoughtfully created a place for you. So, for more information about us, our programs, who we are, what we do, please go to our website, newthoughtcsl.org. For those of you here in the house, you can visit Carolyn at our welcome table. Carolyn will be in the bookstore. You can visit our welcome table after service. This is the time of the service where I acknowledge that we are on the ancestral land of the Kalapuya people, and we affirm Indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. Let's talk about our vision and our mission. Who are we and what do we do? Our vision, if you'd like, you can read it with me. Recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. Our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. I know that we have people tuning in to us on our YouTube page. Let's turn around and give them a little wave. Do you see Mary back there? Wave at Mary. Hi, this is us. This is us. And we're so glad you're here today. All right. So now let's take a breath, relax, rest that beautiful body that brought you to where you are right now as we invite practitioner Dana to lead us in an opening blessing.
Good morning. So let's just take a breath. Just take a breath and breathe in. Just become present with the one spirit, the one light, the one love that is here in this room, in each of us, online, really everywhere. This presence, perfect, available within each of us as us. And I am so grateful today for all the people that helped to make this day happen, the greeters, practitioners here and online, volunteers, technology people, music missionaries, children, people who take care of our children, and all of us. So I'm so grateful for everyone who helps to make this happen. Blessed be. And so it is. And now I would like to invite up Catherine and Gary Jansen-Burkett, and they're going to talk to you today about the meditation retreat.
Thank you, Dina. Good morning. It is really different from this side of things, looking at all of you, I have to say, so bear with me. We did attend a meditation retreat last year, and in full disclosure, I have to say that I went reluctantly and with some skepticism. In fact, she had to talk me into doing it, right? But I have to tell you that I was truly moved by the whole meditation retreat. When I first got there, Reverend Shannon started talking about sound bathing and chakras, and being who I am, I just rolled my eyes, you know, it's like, give me a break. But if Reverend Shannon can make that kind of impact on a skeptic like me, wow, I mean, that says a lot for me. And so I suspect some of you out there might also be on the fence, be wondering, should I do this? I would just say jump right over that fence and get into it. Give yourself to it. You'll be doing yourself a big favor. Thank you.
So, hello. A little bit of our background was we were newcomers to the community last year at this time, so this retreat was really a wanting to connect and check out the community. And I'm a meditator, so I didn't really go for the meditation as much as the community. And what was especially powerful was how experiential it was. So whatever you're learning, you're doing. And then what was great was whatever resonated for you, you walked away with that. And some did for me and some didn't practices, but there was so much there. And it was a large group, but it didn't feel like a large group. We felt really brought into the circle. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And I too encourage you to go, and you're a change meditator for it, right? Daily practice different.
Can I just say one more thing? Do we have time for that? Okay, so every morning since last year, I wake up and do a chakra meditation. Every single morning.
Thank you so much. Can you give that to Dana? Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Catherine. That's a heck of a testimonial. If you are interested in learning more about our meditation retreat, registration is available online and out at the table here. Go to newthoughtscsl.org for all of the information. I'm telling you, I'm a changed meditator after that retreat also, and I've been meditating for 20 years. It was a phenomenal experience, and as Gary so wisely said, if you're on the fence, just jump on over. It's really it's a wellness experience for all of you. So please join us. All right, this is our time for a spiritual practice. And we're going to do this through a new chant. Some of you know this. All good, all good. And what does this mean, that all is good? All is good. Sometimes it doesn't look like or feel like it's all good, does it? So this chant serves to remind us of the goodness that is within, that we live from, that we serve from, that we love from, that holy place of the Most High that resides in us. So if you don't know it, you have the lyrics available. Give it your best. Sing it out. Sing strong and wrong. But give yourself an opportunity to speak truth this day, that there is something holy within, and it is good and very good. So stand as you're able and join us.
All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in the
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite practitioner John Doobie up to give us an inspirational reading. Right here, John.
For our inspirational reading today, we turn to the great Martin Luther King Jr. In his collections of sermons titled Strength to Love, he wrote, "When I speak of love, I am not speaking of some sentimental or weak response. I am speaking of that force which all the great religions have seen as the supreme unifying principle of love. Love is somehow the key that unlocks the door which leads to the ultimate reality. Love is the most durable power in the world. This creative force is the most potent instrument available in humanity's quest for peace." And so it is.
Thank you, John. And now, Darcy Bradley.
We are just children, understand. 2 million people, it's precious grains of sand. And we slid through the fingers, dancing on the wind, and find each other. One you, one me, one chance for us to live. One heart, one soul, one life for us to give. One mind, one sky up above. One you, one me, one love, yeah, 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 one love. A star made a wish on us tonight, hang out in heaven, inspired by our light, and she knows how it feels to light up all the world and last forever. One you, one me, one chance for us to live. One drink, one soul, and one life for us to give. One dream, one mind, one sky up above. One you, one me, one love, yeah, 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 one We are all the possibilities as endless as our imagination. One you, one me, one chance for us to live. One heart, one soul, one life for us to give. One dream, one mind, one sky up above. One you, one me, one love, yeah, yeah,
Darcy Bradley, you're amazing. She's our artist in residence, and we have her once a month, and we're so happy about that, aren't we? Thank you, Darcy. Thanks. It is so good to be with you today as we engage in our studies for Black History Month, as well as our February theme, which is Living Love. I'm practitioner Shelly Walker, and Reverend Shannon sends her very big love to all of you as she spends some time with her family this weekend. I get really excited for Black History Month every year. You know, I grew up in the South, and so I thought that I knew everything there was to know about racism. Which shows you how much I had to learn. No, I actually absolutely love learning about the contributions of Black writers, scientists, philosophers, artists, athletes, teachers, ministers. Black people have contributed to literally every aspect of this American life, and their contributions are often hidden, exploited, or downright stolen. And so I love this month where we get to just lift them up into the light. To educate yourself about Black History Month and to learn more about the yearly themes. Did you know there were yearly themes? No, this is new information to me. Every year there's a theme. See, there's always something else to learn, y'all. So I invite you to go to this website, asalh.org. asalh.org. This is the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And it gives a wonderful background into why Black History Month is important, where it comes from, and how we can lift up these important contributions in our world. I learned over the weekend, doing some research of my own, that this year's theme is Black resistance. Here's what the ASALH website says about this year's theme. They said African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all forms, especially the racial terrorism of lynching, racial pogroms, and police killings since our arrival upon these shores. These efforts have been to advocate for a dignified, self-determined life in a just and democratic society. It goes on to talk more about this year's theme, and it ends by saying, this is a call to everyone, inside and outside the Academy, to study the history of Black Americans' responses and to establish safe spaces where Black life can be sustained, fortified, and respected. Here at New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, we are answering that call. So one of the ways that we are celebrating Black History Month is by delving deeply into this very important writer, teacher, and cultural critic. Her name is Bell Hooks. Yes. Everybody's like, oh, okay, here we go. Yes, here we go. We are going to be touching on this brilliant book, All About Love, New Visions, in all of our talks this month. We do have some available for purchase in our bookstore and in our online bookstore, so I really encourage you to pick one up and follow along with us. Today's talk is based on the chapter called Divine Love. So, love. It's a word we toss about a good bit, isn't it? And it's a concept that honestly I think we barely understand. If I asked you to give a definition of love, we would get however many people are with us. We'd get that many definitions, right? And I'm not talking about only romantic love. I mean, I love my husband dearly. I hope you know that. But if we try to assume that love is only about one special relationship, we are missing the idea of love completely. So I went where I usually go. I went to dictionary.com. And I like to start there. And their definition of love is this: a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. Aw, geez. Isn't that sweet? Does that even really touch on the dynamic reality of what we experience as love and what love has the potential to be? I think not. I appreciate how Fred Rogers spoke about love. He said, love isn't a state of perfect caring. It's an active noun like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person exactly the way they are here and now. Think about it. You wake up, you pray, you read, you eat. What else? You love. These are all things that you do. It's an active noun. Okay, I feel like now we're getting somewhere. In searching for a definition of love, Bell Hooks turns to the great psychiatrist M. Scott Peck's classic self-help book, The Road Less Traveled. And if you are under 40, you might not have ever heard of that book. Just go ahead and pick it up now, because you will be needing it. Echoing the work of Erich Fromm, M. Scott Peck defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Explaining further, he continues, love is as love does. Love is an act of will, namely both an intention and an action. Will also implies choice. We do not have to love. We choose to love. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'd like to break that down for a minute. This definition of love that M. Scott Peck gives us. It starts by saying the will to extend oneself. So what does that mean? That means that in this act of loving, we have some sort of desire to step outside of ourselves, to step outside of our comfort zone. It is the will to extend ourselves. For the purpose of nurturing one's own, yes, loving ourselves is the beginning of his definition of love, not the end. Stepping outside of ourselves for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Spiritual growth. The purpose of love is spiritual growth. He says love is as love does. Doesn't this remind you of the Fred Rogers quote? It's in the doing that love becomes meaningful. Love is an act of will, and will implies choice. We do not have to love, we choose to love. And so by this definition, love is an intentional act. It's a choice that benefits our own and others' spiritual growth. So Reverend Shannon often says that her favorite word for God is love. Her favorite word for spirit, source, universe, that great mystery, the infinite potential, when it all comes down to for her, is love. Well, it took me many, many years of healing to be able to understand this concept, both of God as love and also love as God. In the church of my youth, I was raised to believe in a jealous God, a vengeful God. In Deuteronomy, there's a verse that says, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." And as a child, I would think, well, crud. I was already in trouble with Dad. Now I'm in trouble with God, too. It's awful. Now, when I look at that verse, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, you know what I hear? I hear, girl, their consequences are not your department. You are not in the karma business. Although, karma is my boyfriend. And if you are over 20, that is a Taylor Swift reference. You're welcome. I have no idea where that came from. So, if I'm not in the karma business, what is it that I'm here to do? What is the point of this life? Well, I was well into my 40s before I realized that our job on this planet is not, I repeat, it is not to learn to love. Sorry. Nope. Our job is to be the love. Our job is to do the love. You already are love. You don't have to learn how to be that. You were born with a pattern of perfection that is love. That is the blueprint of your soul. It is embedded so deeply in you that you couldn't escape it if you tried. We don't have to learn about it. We have to do it. We get to be it. It's about being love, living love. It's about unpacking everything in your feelings and your thoughts and your belief systems that has forgotten this core truth of yourself. It's about retelling your stories and writing endings that glorify love. It's about standing firm in the face of disappointment and fear and loneliness and living love. Our job here in community is to remind each other of this love. What is the point of having this experience of this great love and not sharing it? So we lift each other in love by being present with one another, by seeing the good in each other. We come to community, we turn on the feed, we turn on uplifting music because it reminds us, it helps us to remember the love that we are. But you know what? It's not just Reverend Shannon and Brian and Darcy. That's new. Darcy and the practitioners and the person sitting beside you, me. It's not just me reminding you that you are loved. If you pay attention, you will see this lesson that love is your true nature literally everywhere you look. Where are my financial freedom people at? What's the highest purpose of money? Love. Why? Because it serves to keep us involved with each other so that we can evolve and be the love that we were put here to be. Let's try another one. What's the highest purpose of relationships? Love. Why? Because it keeps us connected, keeps us willing, keeps us open so that we can learn more, so that we can what? Evolve and be the love we were put here to be. What's the highest purpose of art? What? Because it helps us to remain curious and wonder and awe, to keep an open mind so that we can evolve and be the love that we were put here to be. What is the highest purpose of education? Love. Why? Because understanding leads to empathy, and empathy always brings us back to love. Always brings us back to love. What's the highest purpose of your spiritual practice? Yeah. To keep us centered in our highest self, the place that's connected and calm and focused on truth. And that helps us to remember to act from that love that we were put here to be. You see, all of life is here to remind you of your true nature and the true nature of every person that you come into contact with. It's all this like upward spiral of evolution. And it's always growing our experience of love. It's glorious, right? Okay, but there's a big, giant, glaring problem here. There's a major problem. The problem arises when we have mistaken ideas about the nature of love itself. The problem arises when we learn from our childhoods, from our culture, from our past, from our struggles, from our misunderstandings, that love is something that you have to earn, or this one's my favorite, be good enough for, or struggle to achieve, or be perfect at so we don't lose it. Some of us learned the mistaken idea that love hurts. I just want to tell you right now that if someone is hurting you, that is not love. There is no definition of love that includes hurt. Losing love can hurt. But the fact is that love itself can never be lost. Please hear me. I say this as a person who has loved fiercely and mourned deeply. Love itself can never be lost. What can we lose? We can lose this imagined idea of what we thought the future was going to be. That we can lose, that we can mourn. But the love that we have had, the love that we have experienced, you get to keep that. It goes with you forever. Love itself can never be lost. Love remains. I think the problem is that we've forgotten the true nature of love. I think of love as life's givingness of itself to itself. Yeah, it's the nature of the universe to give of itself to itself. That's us. That is unconditional love, right? It's just that we've forgotten who we are and whose we are. So what's the remedy? You come here, you turn on this feed to remind yourself, this is how we remember. We remind each other so that we can remember. But that's not all. When we balance our checkbook, when we pay those bills, when we gratefully receive our income, then too we can remind ourselves that this is the activity of the divine happening. This too is love, right? When we have those hard conversations with our families, when we struggle to find common ground at work, when we look at our crying child who is crying because he asked for a banana and you gave him a banana, this has happened to me. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. And in the midst of that frustration, when you can remember that this too is divine love happening when you bring love to it, right? When you see a piece of art that moves you, or a song or a poem, this is divine love. When you're walking through the park and you see a path and you are just in awe, there's something in you that reacts so strongly to the play of light and shadow in the trees. This is divine love. This is the divine moving through you. The noticing of the beauty is divine love. And the more we see the world through that lens with holy eyes, the clearer our vision becomes. Our hearts become lighter. And we evolve to be the love we were put here to be. So far today we've talked about the what is love? We've talked about the how do we remember love? Now I want to talk just for a minute about the why. Why bother? Why put ourselves out there in vulnerability? When our world is in such disarray, why on earth would we focus on love and not, peace or justice or joy? Why love? Because love is the way we get to peace and justice and joy. Love is the way. Bell Hooks teaches us that loving practice is not aimed at simply giving an individual greater life satisfaction. It is extolled as the primary way we end domination and oppression. Love is the way we end domination and oppression. There is no purpose to a love withheld. There is no purpose in a love hoarded or used as leverage or for personal gain. Love is not solitary. Love, by definition, is for service. Love, by definition, is for service. Having love in our heart should, by definition, move our feet. His Holiness the Dalai Lama recently said, "Compassion and love are not a luxury. They are essential to our existence. Without a sense of caring, there can be no sense of community. If we are to survive, human beings must develop a greater sense of universal responsibility. We must learn to work not just for our own self, family, or nation, but for the benefit of all humankind." There is no purpose to love withheld. We have to allow that love to move us into action. So love is a choice. Yes, thank God love is a choice. But it's also a responsibility. We are responsible for making loving choices. So here's the challenge. And it's a big challenge. I'm asking a lot of you today because I believe that you are capable and that you are courageous. So here's the challenge. I'm going to invite you to take a look at your life. Take a look at your relationships, your finances. Take a look at your self-care. Take a look at the situations in the world that bring you to your knees. Take a look at the number of black bodies executed for nothing more than being black. Take a look at the number of mass shootings there have been in this year alone. Look at it. Look at it all. Take a look at the places where you are so tired of seeing the same trauma take place again and again and again. And take a look at the secrets and the lies and the fear underneath it all. And have the courage to ask yourself one question. Have I been love here? Have I been as much love as I can be? Because here's the hard truth. If it seems that nothing is changing, it's because we aren't changing. The one sure way to effect change, my friends, is to love bigger. And to allow that love to move you into action. Because love is an active noun. If you want to experience different life, you have to be willing to do something different. If you want to experience a different world, we have to be willing to do something different. What if the thing that we need to do differently is simply to love bigger? To give ourselves to that love. I had a moment in December when someone that I didn't even know passed away unexpectedly and sadly. And for some reason, I don't know why it was this death and not any of the litany of others, but there was something about this experience of losing this bright light in the world that made me finally sit down and say, okay, God, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. I need a different life. I need a different experience. I need to help. I need to help. And so I sat down for 2 weeks. I sat in prayer and meditation, and I went about my life, did the laundry, cooked the meals. But in all of 2 weeks, there was this question in the back of my mind. I didn't talk about it. I thought about it and I prayed about it. And it was, what is mine to do here, God? And there was a very clear answer, and I was a very clear no for that answer. I'll do something else, Spirit. What else you got? This is an infinite world with infinite possibilities. I don't want to do that. Anyone? Right? It's not just me. But you know what? After 2 weeks, I finally just surrendered and I said, okay, Spirit, okay. I'll do the thing that's mine to do. I will do the thing that's mine to do. So I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to get my master's degree and I'm going to do some other things. Yeah. Thank you. Because the highest purpose of education is love. But here's the deal. That's a big deal for me. I am 50 years old talking about going back to school. I still have children at home, one of whom is disabled. Also, I live with untypical people, and it's hard sometimes. I love you and your keys in the refrigerator. I have a life, and it's complicated. And it was hard for me to say, yeah, I'll add this huge giant thing to my plate, God. Yeah, let's do this thing. But when you ask, the universe listens. When you ask, the universe always says yes. But do we have the courage, took me a couple of weeks to get the courage, to also be a yes to that thing that you know is yours to do? It doesn't have to be going and getting another degree. It doesn't have to be starting a new foundation for something. My God, there are enough foundations. Maybe the thing that is yours to do is to pay better attention. Maybe the thing that is yours to do is to add an extra 5 minutes to your spiritual practice and hold Mother Earth in love in all the heart, hurt, and hurting places. Maybe what's yours to do is to go and do some fabulous things with fabulous people making big changes in the world. If so, heck yeah, I'm on your team. Go for it. But sometimes a bigger love doesn't have to mean that we rearrange everything. Sometimes a bigger love is showing up for that cranky lady in the grocery store line and say, that is not you, Roxana. That maybe just being a better love being a bigger love means creating a space for love everywhere you go, right? It gets to mean whatever it means to you. But this is how we change the world. This is it. One loving act at a time. What if in the morning, when you finish your spiritual practice, or the evening, or your lunch break, what if once you are calm and centered in your body, and spirit has had its way with your heart, what if you take a moment and send a pulse out to the universe that says, I am here to be the presence of love on this planet? Or maybe it's, love, show me where I can love better. Or maybe it's, I am the presence of love in all I do this day. But what if all of us committed for the month of February to living this love in a greater way out in the world? Marianne Williamson said, the way of the miracle worker is to see all human behavior as one of two things, either love or a call for love. So we look at the world today and we see many, many, many calls for love. So many that it can stop us right in our tracks, right? Well, my friends, who is going to answer that call? Us. It's us. It's our call to answer. Living love isn't some passive, individualistic path. No. Living love is a fierce walk that recognizes the interdependence of our lives with each other and with all of life. Living love is our nature and our purpose. So let knowing this truth give us courage for the journey. In the closing chapter of this wonderful book, in the closing of the chapter, Divine Love, Bell Hooks says this: my belief that God is love, that love is everything, our true destiny, sustains me. I affirm these beliefs through daily meditation and prayer, through contemplation and service, through worship and loving kindness. In the introduction to the book Loving Kindness, Sharon Salzberg teaches that the Buddha described a spiritual practice as the liberation of the heart, which is love. She urges us to remember that spiritual practice helps us overcome the feeling of isolation, which, quote, uncovers the radiant, joyful heart within each of us and manifests this radiance to the world. The world needs your radiance. At home, at the grocery store, at work, at school, as you care for yourself and as you care for each other, remember, divine love is your nature and your purpose. And you are well equipped to answer love's call. Let's pray. I'd like to invite the practitioners to come forward to hold space for us. As we take a moment to turn within, to turn to that pattern of perfection that is within us, that looked at this world and called us by name and said, this world needs us. And so we have shown up in the glory of all that it is that Spirit is within us, to show up as the love, to show up with the love, to show up for the love, because this is how Spirit shows up in us. I know that this love, this universal presence, this great mystery is infinite in its scope. It is everywhere present. And so right where we are, love is. It is the space between the heartbeat, and it is the thing beating our hearts. Love. And in this love, I speak a word of, such infinite blessing on this world and on these courageous lovers as we accept this truth that divine love is our nature and our purpose, as we walk forward with this love intact in us, as we let go of all the stories that say not enough, not good enough, never enough. We simply let all of that fall away, and we stand in the radiance of the love that we are. And we allow this love to move us to action for ourselves and for each other. And so for all the places in the world this day that are celebrating this love, lifting up this love by many names and many, many paths, I speak a word of blessing. And for all of the places in the world that are calling to experience this love, this grace, this good, this God, I say the universe is saying yes even now, and love is having its way with this world. And in this, I'm so grateful. We simply let it be. Letting love lead, we let it be. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, practitioners. Thank you all. Let's let love lead this week, don't you think? Let's do that. All right. This is our, thank you. Thank you. This is our time for conscious giving, and I just want to thank all of you who contribute to making this possible, this building, this live stream, our wonderful staff, our wonderful musicians. It all happens because of you. Thank you so much. There are many different ways that you can give. They're all on our website, newthoughtcsl.org. Whether you want to set up a once a month or once a week sustaining gift, or whether you like to write that check and mail it in. I like to text to give. That number is 503-966-3236. But know that your gift is received with gratitude and is prayed over and watched over and spent wisely. Thank you. So let's speak a word of blessing on that gift with me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you, greeters. Darcy, come on up, babe.
Done been through change. We done had way better days, yeah. But I've seen tomorrow. I ain't seen no rain, 'cause our sun's gonna shine again, yeah. Well, I've been thinking about it, ain't no doubt about it. Yeah, we got something that the world just can't explain, yeah. What's the one thing that makes it always work out? 'Cause we got love, 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 love. If we got nothing else, we got love. 'Cause we got love, love, bills ain't been paid. We could have lost about everything. Ooh, but we climbed that mountain and we seen that change, and we're back on top again. Hey, well, I've been thinking about it. I know doubt about it. Yeah, we got something that the world just can't explain. Yeah, 'cause what's the one thing that makes it always work out? Well, we got love, 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 love. And we got nothing else. We got love. 'Cause we got love, 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 love. And we got nothing else. We got love. And the world goes, ooh, and the world goes, and the world goes round and round. Round in circles, and the world goes, hey, and the world goes, and the world goes round in circles. I've been thinking about it. Ain't no way around it. Yeah, we got something that the world just can't explain. Yeah, what's the one thing that makes it always work out? Well, we got love, 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 love. And we got nothing else. We got love. 'Cause we got love, 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 love. And we got nothing else. We got love. Hey, and we got, oh, hey, we got nothing else. We got love. And we got love, 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 love. And we got nothing else. We got love, yeah. Ooh, love, 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 love. Ooh, we got love. Yeah, we got love. Oh, we got love. And we got nothing else. We got love. We got love, you guys.
My goodness. It's always hard to follow up on that one, right? You want to keep playing? I'm okay with it. There we go, and we have 3 announcements today. I'll use my radio voice. New member orientation will be held today in the sanctuary from 12:30 to 1:30 Pacific time. And this is your opportunity to learn more about the center and to find out what membership means. And if you haven't signed up, please just come. And registration continues for the spring meditation retreat with Reverend Shannon on Friday, March 31st to Sunday, April 2nd at Canby Grove Retreat Center. A $75 non-refundable deposit will hold your space. Register in person in Fellowship Hall, at the special registration desk, or on our website. And our final announcement, happy February. We're calling this month Bring a Friend February. We encourage you to invite your friends to attend Sunday services with you in person, or if you watch us online, invite your friends over and watch us together. And the person who brings the most friends in February wins a free class or a practitioner session. So make sure you register you and your friend at the information table, or if online, list their name in the chat. And if you see a red flower on someone here in the sanctuary, be sure to say hello and welcome them to our center. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Practitioner Dana. Y'all, please join us if you're new to the community for the new member orientation today. It's going to be a lot of fun. We don't make you like sign anything or write your name in blood. We just answer your questions about who we are, what we do, and why we do it. So please join us for that. It's in person and online. I want to thank everybody who helped make today possible. Practitioner Dana, Brian, the amazing music team, Darcy, our online group, your group with the teens and the kids, just the greeters. We are so blessed with all of this loving service that happens around here. I'd like to bring practitioners up and remind you that prayer support is always available here at the center. Is one of the things we do best to support you in prayer. We have in-person prayer here as soon as the service is over, and online. There's a link in your chat box, or you can go to the homepage of our website to access a private Zoom room where you too can pray privately with a practitioner. I like to call this our 2-minute miracle. So join us for that. I want to honor people watching us online from not Mexico, because Mexico's in the house. Where is Carol? Where did she go? There she is. Mexico's in the house, y'all. So good to have you in person, Carol. But we do have people watching in California, Florida, Nevada, Hawaii, all across Oregon, Arizona, Colorado, and Germany. Thank you so much for joining us this day. Please join us downstairs in the bookstore. In the fellowship hall, we have our bookstore. You can register for the meditation retreat, get any questions that you might have answered about all of the wonderful things going on. And pick up All About Love by Bell Hooks. Y'all, it is a page turner. You're going to want this book. All right. Stand as you're able. Let's say our final blessing. Dana, will you come join me, please? Thank you so much for bringing yourself and all the love that you are to this experience today. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are oh so loved.
I really